A fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. William Shakespeare. Most of us grew up trying not to look foolish. From childhood, we're told to be smart, be careful, follow the rules, and avoid embarrassment. But what if the very thing we try to avoid, being the fool, is actually the path to transformation? In psychology, especially in Jungian theory, the fool isn't just a clown or a mistake maker. The fool is an archetype, deep, ancient, and universal. He lives outside social norms, speaks inconvenient truths, and dares to go where others refuse. While others walk in circles of conformity, the fool leaps into the unknown. Think about that for a moment. The one society mocks may be the only one truly awake. Carl Jung believed that the fool represents the starting point of the hero's journey. He is not yet wise, but he is willing. He is not sure, but he moves anyway. Unlike the rigid persona, the image we construct to please others, the fool has nothing to prove. He dances with chaos. He accepts failure. And because he risks looking ridiculous, he becomes free. Have you ever laughed nervously at someone who said something awkward, only to later realize they were absolutely right? That moment of discomfort, that's the fool shaking the foundation of your comfort zone. In a world obsessed with status, appearance, and constant performance, the fool refuses the script. He plays. He questions. He breaks the fourth wall of life. And in doing so, he shows us something we desperately need: authenticity. But here's the paradox. The fool appears powerless, yet his honesty disarms. He appears naive, yet he sees through illusions. He walks the edge of chaos, not because he's lost, but because he knows that's where transformation lives. So next time you're afraid to speak up, ask the wrong question, or make a strange choice, ask yourself this: are you protecting your ego, or are you following your soul? If the fool represents truth, spontaneity, and transformation, why is he so feared? Because the fool threatens the structure. He laughs when others demand silence. He breaks tension with jokes, but his laughter often exposes the truth people work hard to avoid. In a society obsessed with order, hierarchy, and certainty, someone who operates outside those rules becomes dangerous. Look at history. The court jester in royal courts wasn't just there for amusement. He could say what no one else dared, mocking the king, questioning war, exposing corruption, disguised as comedy. His role was tolerated only because he was just joking. But deep down, everyone knew the jester was the most honest voice in the room. And today, the fool still exists, but he's harder to spot. He might show up as the awkward coworker who always asks uncomfortable questions. The child who blurts out truths that adults politely ignore. The friend who refuses to conform, even if it costs them approval. Society doesn't burn them at the stake anymore, but it silences them in subtler ways: shame, ridicule, social exclusion. Why? Because the fool disrupts the illusion. He reminds us that most of our lives are performed roles. That the office, the dinner party, the polite conversation, are often masks hiding what's real. And once you see the mask, you can't unsee it. Carl Jung called this confrontation the shadow. It's the part of ourselves we've rejected: our anger, fear, irrationality, longing. The fool embodies that shadow. He doesn't hide it. He dances with it. And when we meet him, we're forced to confront our own chaos. Have you ever felt a mix of discomfort and fascination around someone who's radically honest? That's not just social awkwardness. That's your unconscious mind recognizing something it buried a long time ago. Here's a paradox. The fool, often seen as the lowest figure in society, is actually the freest. Why? Because the fool doesn't wear a mask. He doesn't strive to be admired, respected, or even understood. He is not pretending to be wise. He's not afraid of being ridiculous. And in that rejection of image, he becomes untouchable. Carl Jung believed that the most dangerous prison is not outside us, it's the one we build in our minds. It's the invisible need to be accepted, the compulsion to be normal, the fear of being judged. That's what chains us. Not laws, not authority, but shame. The fool, on the other hand, moves beyond shame. He breaks social conventions not to rebel, but because he has nothing to prove. He's not enslaved by the game of status. He doesn't care if he wins. Can you imagine living like that? Saying what you think. Laughing when you feel like it. Leaving a job, a relationship, a life path, not because it failed, but because it no longer feels real. Most people can't. Because freedom sounds beautiful, but it's terrifying. When you strip away all the roles, student, parent, employee, achiever, who are you really? That's why the fool scares us. Because he's what we secretly long to be, but don't dare become. We work so hard to be good, to be stable, to be together. But the fool walks through life barefoot, laughing, uncertain, and somehow we envy him. Why? Because deep down, we sense that he's closer to something we lost, our true self. Carl Jung once said, "In each of us, there is another whom we do not know." That hidden self, the one behind the persona, behind the ego, is the fool. He is not stupid. He is not careless. He is innocent, yes, but not naive. He sees the absurdity of the world and laughs, not to mock it, but to survive it. That's why every ancient story has a trickster, a jester, a fool. He's the only one who can speak truth to power without being destroyed. The only one who can reveal the lies everyone else lives by, without even using a weapon. And here's the truth modern life hides. In our pursuit of being good, we lose the freedom to be real. We become so polished, so proper, so perfect, that we forget how to play, how to feel, how to exist without a script. We become prisoners of competence. But here's what's wild. The road back to our true self doesn't start with success. It starts with surrender. With admitting, "I don't know." With being willing to look foolish. With laughing at the game we once tried so hard to win. So, maybe the fool isn't a joke at all. Maybe he's the teacher we didn't recognize. And maybe the next time you feel like you're falling apart, it's not a breakdown, it's an invitation. An invitation to stop performing. To stop pretending. To start listening to the voice beneath the noise. The question is, will you dare to answer it?